The Weeknd, born Abel Mekonen Tesfaye, has taken the music world by storm since bursting onto the underground R&B scene with his dark emotional mixtapes back in 2011, first igniting interest with his brooding lyrics and electronic-tinged production on songs like Wicked Games and The Morning. The Weeknd quickly cultivated a unique style that resonated with audiences. After mainstream success with pop hits like Can't Feel My Face and now global superstardom on the back of critically acclaimed albums and performances like his explosive Super Bowl LV halftime show, the Canadian singer-songwriter continues to showcase creative ambition and evolution with each new project. Having come a long way from his days struggling as a homeless high school dropout in Toronto, the Weeknd has solidified himself as a generation-defining artist whose future promises no bounds as he cements his status as a 21st century superstar at the intersection of R&B, pop, hip-hop, and electronic music. The Weeknd, born Abel Makkonen Tesfaye on February 16, 1990, is a Canadian singer, songwriter, and record producer. He's one of the most popular and influential R&B artists of the 2010s and 2020s, known for his dark emotional lyrics and genre-bending production that incorporates elements of R&B, pop, hip-hop, and electronic music. Early life and background. Abel was born in Toronto, Ontario, to Ethiopian immigrant parents. His father left the family when Abel was young, leaving his mother to raise him on her own. They lived in the low-income neighborhoods of Scarborough and later moved to a suburb west of Toronto called Etobicoke. Abel has said that he learned Amharic as a first language and did not begin speaking English until he started school at age 7. As a teenager, Abel began smoking marijuana, participating in petty crime, and shoplifting food to get by. He often credits the beginning of his musical career to the period when he was 17 and homeless, hanging out with friends and singing. He took on the name The Weeknd after dropping out of high school at 17 and leaving one weekend, never coming home. Abel met producer Jeremy Rose in 2010, who had an idea for a dark R&B musical project. They began working together, with Abel writing lyrics inspired by substance abuse, partying, love, longing, and loss. The Weeknd adopted his signature hairstyle during this period, which involves his hair being cut into a short crop and growing long curls on the top. Breakthrough Mixtapes, 2011 to 2012. In March 2011, The Weeknd released his debut mixtape House of Balloons for free online. It instantly gained widespread critical acclaim for its moody, emotional R&B style and lyrical content about partying, drug use, and relationships. The mixtape also featured production from Canadian producers Il Angelo and Doc McKinney, establishing Abel's core team of collaborators early on. House of Balloons helped grow interest in Toronto's R&B scene and turned The Weeknd into an underground phenomenon seemingly overnight. That September, The Weeknd released his follow-up mixtape Thursday as a free online release. It expanded on the themes and style established by his debut release to further acclaim. In December came his third mixtape, Echoes of Silence, completing his series later marketed as The Trilogy that kicked off his career. Across the three 2011 mixtapes, The Weeknd cultivated dark, emotional R&B music inspired by artists like Michael Jackson and Prince, but updated with a hip-hop edge and lyrical content about partying and women. His distinctive falsetto vocals were also quickly becoming a trademark, going mainstream 2012 to 2014. In 2012, The Weeknd began to work officially with producers Il Angelo and Doc McKinney on his debut album, in addition to rapper-singer Drake, who helped promote The Weeknd on his Club Paradise tour that year. Through Drake's support, The Weeknd's music reached more mainstream audiences. The Weeknd's debut album, Kiss Land, released in September 2013 through Republic Records after he signed with the label earlier that year. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts. Kiss Land explored similar themes as his mixtapes, but saw Abel adapting his sound for a more mass-market, pop-oriented direction. Reviews were mixed, but generally positive for his emotionally honest lyrics and genre-bending production. Around this time, Abel also began appearing on other artists' tracks and was featured on remixes and songs by Drake, Lil Wayne, Wiz Khalifa, and more. His profile continued to rise leading into 2014 as he toured, made more guest appearances, and prepared his next album. Mainstream success with Beauty Behind the Madness, 2015. After 3 mixtapes and his debut album introduced the Weeknd as an intriguing underground R&B phenomenon, his second album, Beauty Behind the Madness in 2015, catapulted him to global superstardom and expanded his sound. Preceded by hits like Earned It from the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack in late 2014, Beauty Behind the Madness saw Abel streamlining his style into more accessible pop and R&B with widespread appeal and major star collaborations. The album also featured production from big names like Kanye West. The album spawned multiple massive hits that each peaked at #1 or #2 on the charts, including The Hills, Can't Feel My Face, and Earned It. The album debuted at #1 in multiple countries as The Weeknd headlined festivals and toured the world over the next year. Beauty Behind the Madness won 2 Grammys and became one of the best-selling albums in the world in 2015, cementing Abel as a global icon blending R&B, electronic, and pop. Continued success with Starboy and Beyond, 2016, present. Riding high off the success of his smash hit album Beauty Behind the Madness, The Weeknd followed up with his third record, Starboy, in late 2016. Another #1 album, Starboy saw Abel continuing to collaborate with top producers like Daft Punk and expanding on his electronic-leaning pop sound. Hits from the album included the title track, Starboy, and I Feel It Coming, which both featured Daft Punk. Since Starboy, Abel has continued releasing singles and features, touring the world extensively and headlining festivals. He also began a relationship with supermodel Bella Hadid from early 2015 to late 2016, which drew significant media attention. In March 2018, The Weeknd released his self-produced EP, My Dear Melancholy, which featured a return to the darker R&B sound of his early work. Singles Call Out My Name and Wasted Time dealt with personal themes of relationships and substance abuse. He continued touring and recording music in 2018 and 2019, contributing songs to various movie soundtracks as well. On March 20th, 2020, After Hours was released as The Weeknd's 4th studio album. It was a major critical and commercial success, becoming his 4th consecutive #1 album. Singles Heartless and Blinding Lights were worldwide smashes, with Blinding Lights becoming The Weeknd's biggest hit yet, staying at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for weeks. After Hours saw Abel creatively incorporating synthwave and new wave influences into his music for a retro yet modern sound drawing on 80s pop and electronic trends. In late 2020, Abel was announced as the headliner and performer for the 2021 Super Bowl LV halftime show. The performance incorporated themes and visuals that tied together his entire body of work since 2011. It was widely praised as one of the best Super Bowl halftime shows ever. In January 2023, The Weeknd released his 5th album, Dawn FM, described as a sonic experience, conceiving the album as a radio show playing while stuck in purgatory. It reflected on themes of aging, dying, and the transition into the next life. Dawn FM featured an eccentric roster of narrators and collaborators, including Jim Carrey, Quincy Jones, Tyler the Creator, Lil Wayne, and Onotrix Point Never. Reviews praised the album's creativity in sound, visuals, and concept. Over 12 years into his career, The Weeknd has solidified his place as one of the generation's most important, creative, and unpredictable artists in R&B and popular music. Through his confessional lyrics and genre-bending production merging R&B, pop, hip-hop, and electronic music, Abel has cultivated a singular style and sound while appealing to audiences and critics globally. Now often credited with influencing numerous newer artists, The Weeknd promises to continue evolving his style and collaborations as he persists in reaching new creative heights. He has shown glimpses of starting ventures in film, television, fashion, and philanthropy as well, hinting that his ambition and creativity know no bounds as he cements himself as one of the 21st century's brightest stars. And over a decade into his dazzling career thus far, one thing remains clear. We have likely only scratched the surface of the potential, ambition, and unconventional creativity Abel the Weeknd Tesfaye has yet to unleash upon the music world. Already recognized as a pioneering and influential artistic force whose confessional R&B pop sounds have shaped the tones of popular music today, he shows no signs of slowing his output. Thanks so much for listening to this audio profile brought to you by Quiet Please Media. We hope you enjoyed this look at the dynamic life and colorful career of The Weeknd. Please subscribe to Quiet Please for more audio biographies detailing the unique journeys of music's biggest icons. For Quiet Please, this has been a presentation on the artistic evolution of the dynamic Canadian musician who continues to push the envelope of mainstream music, The Weeknd.